Among the world's most modern motorsports facilities, Kansas Speedway opened for business in 2001, some 15 miles west of Kansas City, Kansas, under the ownership of ISC. Originally consisting of a 1.5-mile tri-oval with uniform banking at 15 degrees, the facility underwent a major revamp in 2012 that resulted in progressive banking of the oval, 17 to 20 degrees, along with the addition of a 6-turn road course incorporating a twisty infield section in all but a few hundred feet of the oval. The facility has permanent seating for 72,000 spectators, along with a hotel and casino featuring more than 100,000 square feet of gaming space. Kansas Speedway has hosted a variety of motorsports events over the years, including all 3 NASCAR Premier Series, ARCA, the Indy Cars, and the Grand American Sports Car Series, which utilize the road course. But tonight, it's race number 1 of the Davidson Builders Gen 6 Series, and it's next on HBR TV. Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to HBR TV. I'm Steve Singer, bringing you tonight's first race of the season for the Num Thumbs Racing League Davidson Builders Gen 6 Cup Series. Race details for tonight: 125 laps the race distance, 79-degree ambient temperature, 40% humidity, partly cloudy skies, 7-mile-per-hour breeze, track temperature nice and cool at 82 degrees Fahrenheit. Drivers will have 2 change sets over the wall this evening, plus a 65% fuel load to work with, so that's going to come into play for certain when it comes to developing a strategy for this race. Drivers expect a fuel window of 35 to 40 laps, so a 2-stop strategy, not impossible, but not likely. You're going to likely have to make a pit stop here to close things out if we go green all the way to the end, but that remains to be seen as well. Let's go to trackside, see who's topping the field here as practice just about over with. 2 minutes remain. Zach Millett is the fastest, 30.278, very quick time. The 22 of Chuck Kiger is second at the 30.288 second mark. 29 of Jesse Sperling at 30.3. Klein at 30.316. Moore at 33.76. You see how close these times are. Obviously, there's some drafting involved in this as well, so things may be a little bit slower in the qualifying session, but we'll see how that plays out here in just about another 90 seconds as this practice session wraps up. Pretty stout field here tonight. 39 cars to take the green flag this evening. God, I love the beginning of these seasons. You get big crowds of cars. Hopefully we can keep things clean because it's going to be a little crowded out there tonight. But nevertheless, it's still going to be a fun one to watch. Drivers were given a 1 hour and 10-minute session, abbreviated slightly via driver's meeting. So about an hour session to get some practice laps in here at Kansas Speedway. Running the Gen 6 Cup car. That's the previous iteration. Not like the what they call the next gen or the Gen 7 Cup car that they run today, but a lot of guys love this car. It was purpose-built to be an oval track car. Old school truck arm rear suspension. None of that independent stuff that you see in the modern car that we have today. But man, they are a blast to drive, tons of horsepower. A couple of stream chatters already. We got Lisa in the chat saying go Sperling. We got the tower operator cheering on the 18 and the 42. That's Josh Moore. And I think Kevin Winker. Yes, Kevin Winker in the 42 as well. Practice is complete. We'll jump right into qualifying. Who's going to take to the track first? It looks like it might be Daniel Cunningham. Daniel Cunningham out of Winchester, Virginia. Great little quaint town in Virginia. Going to make a little special trip down there in the month of May. They have the Apple Blossom Festival. I've been there for it a couple of times. Really, really cool, historic town. plus some good time partying on the Shenandoah. Cunningham on his out lap. Cunningham takes the green flag. Lap number 1 begins for the number 91. Actually, that's his first time lap, 30.878. Puts him on the provisional pole for now. Nick Biddy, second quick with a 31.101. Crystal Volano goes up to P2. We'll watch Biddy's second lap here as he's off turn 2 down the back straightaway. Got Joe Mariani Jr. says, let's go, Ott. Jim Ott in the 4, he's cheering for as Biddy completes his second lap. Lap time is 5th quick, 30.885 as Cunningham still sits atop the leaderboard. Ken Couch has an answer, 30.457. He puts it on top of the board. Mike Fahey wraps up a 31.038 lap. Chris Klein, lap 1 in the books for the 51 machine, a 30.55, third quick so far. Destiny Mills in the chat. Let's frickin' go Fahey, Mr. number 19. Chris Klein exits 4, drops it down to the apron of the racetrack, finishes up his attempt. Solidly in the field, puts it on the front row. Outside pole, 30.466. See if it stands. Jesse Sperling finishing up lap 1, the number 29 machine. And Chris Fahey's back in the chat. Sperling a 32.77. Ken Couch still the fastest thus far. 30.457 is the target for all the drivers in the field. Sperling way down to the grass, crosses the stripe, finishes up his qualifying attempt, cuts the motor off for a quick plug check, goes P6, 30.508. Scott Milner, number 31, was 23rd on his first lap. Milner wraps up. Big improvement. 9th quick. 30.570. Derek Welch, the league owner, was 23rd on his first lap. 30.956. Not a lap he's probably very happy with. We'll see if he can improve here. I expect he will. .449 for Derek Welch, puts it on top. P1 for the 1. Great way to start things off. Will it hold? We saw laps as low as 30.2, I believe, in practice. We'll see if anybody can match top time Derek Welch. Dylan Bryant, the number 28, out of Stem, North Carolina. Throwback Haviland paint scheme, a la Davey Allison. Still some heavy hitters to go before this session's complete. 10-minute qualifying session. We're just past the 5-minute mark. flying off of 4. We're at a 76 his first lap. Let's see what kind of improvement we get this time by. Big jump, P3, 30.453. Alfie Charon in the number 9. TrackBarMedia.net machine, a 30.828 his first lap, 27th quick. Likely a throwaway lap for Charon. Lyons goes P1 in the 48, a 30.403, and Alfie Charon goes P6. Zach Millett on track now, 27th. Millett fastest in practice. See if he can back up that very fast 30.2. Back to start finish, to the apron, to the grass, across the line. Zach Millett goes from 28th to the pole. 30.378 seconds for that S4 guy. The 315 goes top of the board. Just a few minutes left in the session. Still, handful of drivers left. Matt Sisler, the number 93. Sisler out of Michigan. 30th quick, his first lap. Sisler goes to the second row, third quick, 30.440. Two drivers remain. Jarrett Woodard on track in the familiar number 79 machine. New sponsor on that car. Woodard with the Permacon colors. First lap for Woodard, 30.877. Two drivers have yet to take the time. That's Sean Roberts and Tom Barish. Don't know if they're going to opt to start out back or they're just going to wait for the very last minute to get going. Second lap for Woodard. 17th, 30.508. Meanwhile, Kevin Winker, he jumps up to 14th with a 4.89. Again, still two drivers yet to take a time. With that, we're going to take a short break, and we'll be back after this. Back at Kansas Speedway, let's take a look at our starting grid. On the pole position with a lap time of 30.378 seconds, Zach Millett. Outside front row from JC Motorsports, it's the number 48 of Lucas Lyons, shy by 24 thousandths of a second. Matt Sisler rolls from the third position with league owner Derek Welch starting fourth. Fifth starter is Albert Anderson from All-Star Racing. Dylan Bryant, also of All-Star Racing, he'll start sixth. Ken Couch in the 08 rolls seventh. Alfie Charon Jr. will start in the eighth position. Chris Klein, the number 51, starts ninth. Tim Stubblefield starts 10th. 11th goes to Chris Goins with Track Bar Motorsports. Daniel Cunningham out of Virginia, the number 91, starts in the 12th spot. 13th starter is Josh Moore in the number 18 from Team America, that is. Kevin Winker will start in the number 42 in the 14th spot. Brandon Coleman starts 15th. 16th is Jesse Redding. Jesse Sperling will start 17th. Jarrett Woodard, 18th. 19th starter is Connor Leach. Mike Kostek in the 8th from JC Motorsports will start 20th. 21st starter, it's Scott Milner. Mark Collins rolls from the 22nd starting position. 23rd is Justin Lawson. 24th, Chuck Kiger. 25th starter is Paul Durkee. 26th will be Jim Ott. 27th starter, Crystal Volano in the 07. Chris Elliott, 28th. 29th is Skylar Harrod. 30th goes to Brian Torsha. 31st starter, Anthony Williams. Russ Endicott, 32nd. 33rd, Michael Campbell. Nick Biddy, the number 32, starts 34th. Keep an eye on him. He'll work his way through the field here tonight. Joe David in the 6th, 35th. PJ Cox, 36th. Ben McKinnon, 37th. Mike Fahey, 38th. Sean Roberts, 39th. And Tom Barish rounding out the field in 40th. It's your starting grid here from Kansas Speedway as we get ready to go green flag racing. Field working through turns 3 and 4 right now.
Ready, green flag.
Green flag in the air, and the season is underway. Zach Millett brings him down. Lap 1 in the book. Zach Millett maintains the top spot. Matt Sisler is second. Albert Anderson runs third. Lucas Lyons has dropped a couple back to fourth. Ken Couch is fifth. Battle for the second spot. The number 99 of Albert Anderson up top. Matt Sisler now up a position into P2. Still got trouble in behind him, or at least some competition coming. That's the 48 of Lucas Lyons. Had not a great start, but he's going to regather things here and get back going. Lap 4 goes up on the board. Millett still out in front, about a 0.3 of a second advantage over the 99 of Albert Anderson, who's worked his way back around the 93 of Sisler. Anderson working the top side, Sisler down to the inside, still not quite clear, but now Sisler's got to worry about the 48, also working to the outside. Seems to be up top is the place to be, at least for the time being. Chris Goins in the mix here. He's up 4 positions. Started, I think, 11th. Now he's up into P6, so make it 5 spots as he tucks in behind Derek Welch. Gets right on board. a whole lot of lift at this place. You heard them in qualifying. They were wide open the entire way around. Just a slight lift here, 6 laps in from Kansas Speedway. Welch putting pressure on the 93 of Sisler. Goins trying to find a way around the 1. Goins to the inside of Derek Welch. Makes the pass, does it on the bottom side. Welch might be in a position where he's trying to save some tire right now. We'll see if that comes back to haunt Goins later on, or if Goins just has the pace right now. Millett still out in front. He's led every lap to this point. Checking back into the stream chat. We've got a bunch of people in here chatting it up. That's awesome to see. We've got Josh Sisk, I believe, says, what's the over-under on the caution? I'm assuming lap 3. Well, we're 9 in. We got away with it. Let's see. We got Regelio? I don't know if I'm saying it right. Says Skittles my take. I don't know what it means, but Josh cashed the over. Larry Dickerson cheering on Dylan and Albert. And Drew Blaze, of course, just checking in here to make sure he sees Fahey wreck. Matt Sisler to the inside, or maybe Chris Goins to the outside as he's working the top side to take the 4th position. Was trying to get 2 for 1 on Albert Anderson. Anderson closed the door. The exit at turn number 2. Now they're in 3. Goins going back to the top. Realizing that the well yielded some results. Going to try it again here in 4. Had a little bit of a run, but had to check up to not get in the back of the number 99 of Anderson. Goins goes up the track again, still applying pressure to Albert Anderson for that 3rd spot. Goins finally completes the pass. Anderson jumps now in front of Matt Sisler. Goins is on a charge here. Once he's settled in here, he's starting to work his way towards the front. Right now, one of our biggest movers on the racetrack, at least within the top 10. That's Chris Goins in that 3rd position, looking for 2nd here side by side as they head down into turn 1. The 41 Popple Pro machine down low now. He's worked the top side. He's worked the bottom. It looks like the 48 of Lucas might have got the fence just a bit in the middle of the corner. Not enough to make a big deal, but a little scrape, a little peeling of paint on the right side of that 48 machine. Anderson's going to take advantage. He's going to get back to the bottom and try to take the 3rd spot away again. You got the Tucker family, says, I'm here for the same reason. Talking about Fahey wrecking. Hasn't yet. It's early yet. Lucas Lyons back to the inside, trying to take the 2nd position from Goins. This has been a good battle to watch. I tell you, it's been fun to watch the 41 in these opening 13 laps. He's gone from 11th now up into the 2nd spot. Interesting to see Zach Millett still out in front and just slamming the car hard on that apron of the racetrack here at start-finish. Cars are slammed on the ground. I don't know if it's going to cause any damage. We did see some evidence of that in the practice session. So far, so good. The 315 looks clean on all 4 corners. Battle for position once again, and the caution is out.
Quickly tell me about your car if you can.
Don't see an indication as to what put us under this yellow. Maybe Mark Collins, Scott Milner, yes. Couple cars facing the wrong direction. Getting it righted. It's caution on the Speedway. Let's see if we can get a look at, see what happened here with these two. Oh, the 23 comes up the racetrack, clips the 11 a bit. There's a few cars involved in this one. Milner goes up the track, noses into the outside wall. Let's get another look at it here. See the 23 and the 11 at the top of the racetrack. Then Milner was trying to avoid. He might have lifted a little earlier given the incident. Gets a little bit run over in the back. I think, trying to see who that may have been. It might have been, it wasn't the 23. Tough to say. But there you have it. First caution of the race. Pit stops underway. Millet in the box. Leaders all in the box. Chris Goins out in a hurry. Quick pit stops here. Might have been fuel only for everybody here for the most part. Sub 7 second stops. As we mentioned, 35 to 40 laps was the expected fuel window, but they only have 2 sets of tires over the wall to work with, so a little bit early if anybody decided to take tires here. Looking up and down pit road, it does not appear that anyone did that. Lucas Lyons here. He's trying to get something squared away on pit exit. PJ Cox in the 05. I want to try and get another look at this incident from a little bit closer view. Yeah, Collins just came up the racetrack, catches the 11. That's Brandon Coleman. It looks like it was the 29 that came into the frame and got Milner. I think that was Sperling. Excuse me. Yeah, Jesse Sperling in the number 29. Well, maybe not. No, different 29. I guess there's more than one 29 out there. So it's Chris Elliott. Oh, there it is. It's the 129. I got you. Chris is a bit of a dirt guy, so that little tiny one there adds it for a dramatic effect. Jonathan Cofield says, did Lucas speed? I unfortunately don't have access to that as far as whether or not he got penalty. Maybe that's why he's at the back. I'm not 100% sure. I mean, that would make sense. Maybe he got dinged. But he must have been speeding on exit if that was the case, would be my guess. But nevertheless, green flag going to be back in the air. Millet leads him down. And we're back racing once again here, lap 18 from Kansas Speedway. Millet pulls out to a couple car length advantage out of turn 2. Second runs Anderson Goins in that third spot. Chris Goins looking to the inside on Albert Anderson for the second position. Right on board with the number 99. Goins tucks back in behind. Anderson way down low. He's got company coming. Now, we saw Chris Goins very aggressive and very fast in the early stages of this race, but since the restart, he slipped back a few positions. Restarted third, was challenging for second, but now he slipped back to the fifth position. Derek Welch on the high side of the racetrack. Alfie Charon tucks up in front of the 28. Does he get clear? No, not quite. Charon's going to have to stay now to the inside of Dylan Bryant. He's the driver of that number 28 Haviland machine. And there's the 71 of Connor Leach. Now he's to the outside of the 9. The 18 of Joshua Moore tucks up behind the 9. This is the battle for the 9th spot. Moore runs 10th. Looking for the 9th position from Alfie Charon. Charon kind of getting boxed in behind the 71 of Leach. "24 laps complete here from Kansas Speedway. Zach Millet's led every one of them to this point. Still watching this fight here, the back half of the top 10. The 9, the 18, and now the 8. It's Charon, Moore, and Kostek. Kostek now alongside to the inside in the Jack Daniels number 8. Kostek backs out of it, unable to complete the pass on either the 9 or the 18, but the 18 of Moore now gets in front of Alfie Charon. Charon's going to keep it topside, battles back. Meanwhile, Matt Sisler has jumped up into the 2nd spot. Albert Anderson still 3rd, but in a battle with Chris Goins. Goins slipped a little bit on the restart, but hasn't really gone away, starting to come back. Might just be a matter of the car handles a little bit better for him as the temperature and the air pressure comes up in those Goodyear Eagles. Chris Klein in the number 51 now. He's a part of this fight as well. Moore continues to push up through the field. Connor Leach, the 71, gets the fence. Chris Klein goes up and gets the fence as well. Caution comes out. Oh, we got big trouble in the back. Mike Campbell and others involved. Looks like Lucas is in that as well. So is the 20 of Justin Lawson. Unfortunately, it looks like the 95 of Campbell has got some pretty significant suspension damage. That thing's dog tracking pretty bad. Take it straight to pit lane and try to get it squared away. Again, no fast repairs in this series, except for maybe the road course or super speedways. You see Lucas Lyons was in it as well. He's going to try to come to pit lane. He's going to lock it up. Spins just before, and he's going to actually exit and go straight to the pits from there. Well, let's get a look at it, see if we can catch what happened here, put us under caution again. The 48 gets up in the fence. We're going to rewind this a little bit further here. Let's see what really started it. It does appear that the 48 went up the racetrack. Yeah, 48 goes up the track, slows his momentum. The 95 gets in it, and then it's just chain reaction crash. Big time impact, a late hit there. We saw Connor Leach and Chris Klein have slight contact up ahead of this, but that wasn't the purpose of the caution, or the cause of the caution for that matter. There you have it. So it looks like most of the drivers are going to stay out on track this time. In the pit stops, last visit was about lap 17, lap 18. Our first caution of the night, this being our second. Drivers are just going to wait until they need to take tires at this point before they put fuel in it. No sense in peeling off the track at this point. So while we have the opportunity, let's take a look at our top 20 right now. Zach Millett, your leader, has been since the drop of the green flag. Then it's Matt Sisler, Albert Anderson, Dylan Bryant, Chris Goins, the top 5. Josh Moore runs 6th. Connor Leach, 7th. Kostek, 8th. Kevin Winker, 9th. Alfie Charon, 10th. The 4 of Ott runs 11th. Jesse Redding, 12th. Cunningham, 13th. Skylar Harrod is 14th. Nick Biddy up to 15th. Joe David is 16th. Woodard, 17th. Brian Torsha, 18th. Williams, 19th. And Chris Villano, last car inside the top 20 in that 20th position. Typically, I tell everybody that the chat is open. Feel free to chime in, but you guys are doing a damn good job of that tonight. But yeah, the chat is open. You're welcome to discuss amongst yourselves within the chat. It does not get shown on the broadcast per se, but if I see something there, I try to mention it for you guys. Just keep it friendly for the kiddies, you know. PG at least, or at most. Maybe it's at most. I don't know. Field working the back straightaways. We are on the 1 to go, so half a lap away from a restart here. It'll be lap 33 when we retake the green flag.
Green flag.
Base cars in, green flag waves, and we're back underway. Zach Millett on the jump, puts about a half car between himself and Albert Anderson. Outside of Anderson is the 93 of Matt Sisler. Millett carries it down into turn number 1. No pressure. Oh, trouble behind. We got a big wreck.
Caution, caution. Bud, why don't you give me status on your car there?
Big trouble here. And we still got guys after the yellow coming through full throttle. I don't understand that. Guys just not giving up the gas, even though the yellow is out, and plowing into other cars at full speed. I know there's no risk of legitimate injury here, but no fast repairs. Don't ruin your own night. Don't ruin somebody else's. You got to check up. So we're under our second caution of the evening. Something happened there behind the race leader. I think Albert Anderson is the first to get turned. We'll see if we can get a better look at this. Now, this is the earlier caution. That's not what we're looking for. And I'm just going to just plain out rewind this. There's a lot going on here. We're trying to get a best angle of this as we can. It looks like Anderson may have either got the wall or some contact from the car in behind that turned him down into Chris Goins. Oh, he just got loose off of 4. He might have made contact with the wall, but it sends him down to the right rear of Chris Goins, which sends Goins in front of traffic. Goins goes up, clips the 28. Kevin Winker gets a piece of it. The 4 gets into this. Skylar Herod gets a piece. Jim Ott gets a big piece as he ends up on his lid. Derek Welch is going to get a big piece. Gets the 3 right in the driver door. Let's try and watch this at full speed here. There you have it. How's that for an angle? Alfie Charon just getting by. Well, that's going to take out a bunch of guys. Again, no fast repairs in this series. Tough break for Chris Goins. He had a real strong car here tonight. He was able to work his way up from outside the top 10 into the top 2 in that first segment of the race. He was running second or third. I think it was actually P2 when that incident occurred. So we'll line them up and we'll try it again. Jesse Sperling back on the track. Looks to be he's okay. He's got a little bit of right front damage. I don't know if he was in this or not, but we'll go back and take a look. See Sperling checking way up. He really backed out of it to not drive into that mess. Good job by the 29, really. Just to check up, stay out of the melee. Looks like Looks like Sperling was okay there. He did what you're supposed to do. Get on the brakes, slow it up, not get involved, and continue to fight for another day.
Ready, green flag.
Yeah, green flag is out. Back racing, just like that. Feel it on the jump. EV Racing says, nice camera work. We do appreciate that. Custom camera packs provided by Whiplash Sim Cams. You saw the commercial prior to the green flag here tonight. Tristan Sykes in the chat. I'm just here to watch Fahey wreck. Mill it up top. Alfie Charon, teammate now to the bottom. He gets to the second spot in front of the 91 of Cunningham. Connor Leach there in the third spot as well. The number 71 looking to the outside of the 9. Now tucks back in behind, crosses over. Thought about jumping in front of the 91 of Cunningham. Remember earlier in the race when we talked about the starting grid, really, before we went green, we talked about Nick Biddy in that number 32 machine starting way out in the back. Well, he's up 26 spots. We told you, keep an eye on him. He's going to work his way to the front, and he's doing just that. Inside the top 10 here at lap 40. Biddy with the G&G Marine colors on that number 32. New colors this year. Wide into 3. Can they make it work? They do. Track's plenty wide. The 8 of Mike Kostek goes to the bottom, takes the spot. Jesse Redding now the 21 top side.
Yellow's out.
And another yellow.
Do you see the pit sign now, or is it get more acclimated to it, or is it still difficult?
Looks like Anthony Williams and Sean Roberts possibly. Indeed. Sean Roberts, number 33 machine. Looking for a sponsor, clearly. Roberts still at speed. He doesn't appear to be very happy with somebody. I'm wondering if that's Anthony Williams or not. Gotta take a deep breath here. Roberts just hits pit lane. So here we go. Let's take a look, see what we can figure out here. Looks like this might actually be technically a 3-car incident. Trying to get the best angle on it. You get the 5, the 92, and up top, Sean Roberts in the 33. Anthony Williams coming up, not realizing he's 3 wide, possibly. May have thought that the 33 was the only car to his right, but it was still the 92, and just barely clips Sean Roberts. So some pit stops underway. Zach Millett drops the jack. He goes down and away. 4 tires and fuel for the 315. 14.8 second stop. Joshua Moore was out first. 7.7 seconds. It's going to put him ahead of the 315. Connor Leach will inherit the top spot. Looks like everybody that is currently sitting in the top 5 opted not to pit this time. So Connor Leach, the number 71 Chevrolet. It's like a Tim Hortons Chevrolet. I might go for some Hortons right now. Of course, Connor out of Canada. I'm on upstate New York, so there's plenty of Tim Hortons by us. We kind of get the best of all the worlds. We got Tim Hortons, we got Dunkin', we got Starbucks, but nobody goes there. So Connor Leach, last pit stop, lap 16, and it was a fuel-only stop. We're 45 laps in. He's still on the original set of tires. Some have opted to take tires this time around, those drivers being the sixth-place machine of Zach Millett, and Alfie Charon, Daniel Cunningham, Mike Kostek, Jesse Redding, Ryan Torsha, Jarrett Woodard, Tim Stubblefield, Chris Klein, Matt Sisler, Crystal Villano, all taking 4 tires, likely their first set of tires this evening. Varying strategies up and down pit road. .46 laps complete. Pace car lights have gone out, so we are on the 1 to go. Green the next time by. Mike Fahey sits in pit lane. It's been in there a while. Involved in one of those incidents. AbileneRaceRoads.com sponsorship on board that machine, but tough way to start the season. iRacing pace car hits pit road as we wait for Barney to wave the green once again. Restart coming lap 47.
Green flag.
There it is, green in the air. We're back racing from Kansas. Connor Leach gets away to the early jump, but Nick Biddy in the second spot, up 32 positions. Making his way towards the front, wants to lead at least a lap here, but here comes Alfie Charon in the 4th position. But Albert Anderson with those fresh tires charging through the field. Out of turn 4. Will Anderson get to the stripe first? He will. Anderson's going to lead that lap. Lap 48 goes up on the timing tower. Clean restart for the time being. One car in the wall, tries to save it, slips back up the racetrack. That might have been Nick Biddy. I can't tell. I think it might have been. Yes, it was. Tucks in behind. Joe David in the 6. Meanwhile, Alfie Charon now takes the top spot. So Alfie Charon in the 9 off turn number 4 will lead. Anderson 2nd, Millett 3rd, Leach now 4th, Cunningham 5th. Tristan Sykes correcting me here about the sponsor on Mike Fahey. Abilene Race Rads. Okay, I can't read or I can't see it from the angle, but yeah. Tristan Sykes, he's got it right. AbileneRaceRads.com. Lap 50 goes up on the board. We're going to step aside, get an HBR TV side-by-side break out of the way. Stay with us. We'll be back after this.
I met Marcos Garza when we were doing radiothons for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. We needed sponsors to help us raise money, and he's always the first one to jump in. I would describe Marcos and his team as upstanding, someone you can trust, and he is just a genuine guy.
Marcos has been very generous. He has a genuine concern for people. You need somebody that cares about you. And that's what Marcos is, and that's pretty much what this firm is.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Caution. You want something to drink? Yes, you'll take a Captain Morgan and Diet Coke.
Back at Kansas Speedway, working caution number 5 for the evening. Chris Klein involved in this. You saw it during the side-by-side. Chris Klein had to gather the car up just a bit. Little correction, but the 92 was right on him. I think that was Tim Stubblefield. I'll have to double-check that. Indeed, it was. Just too close to get off the gas and get off that back bumper, and around Klein goes, gets into the outside wall. Likely his night over. Take a look at it here once again. There's the wiggle, getting loose. You see it right there. Tries to go up the track and then just gets hooked by the 92. That is the thing with these Gen 6 Cup cars, though. You really can change the balance of the race car by getting in behind another. Take some air off the rear spoiler, and then it gets very loose. Hard to contain that car, keep it turning the way that you need it to. Actually, reality just turns too much. So some drivers did take an opportunity to pit. So Cunningham and Kostek stayed on the racetrack, whereas Millett, Sharon, Anderson Just about everybody on the lead lap after the top two came down to top off for fuel. Some decided they would put some tires on. Connor Leach and Nick Biddy, they went with 4 tires. Joe David did the same. PJ Cox and Crystal Villano might have taken 2, maybe some damage repair. Hard to say. I don't get an indication as to how many tires. I'm just kind of basing it off of the pit stop time. So we'll get the restart here. Lap 56. New leaders be the 91 of Daniel Cunningham out of Winchester, Virginia, and the 8 of Mike Kostek will start to his outside. Row 2, it's Zach Millett and Alfie Charon, teammates. Albert Anderson, Jesse Redding, then Connor Leach and Nick Biddy. Joe David, Matt Sisler rounding out the top 10. Base car is in. Barney's got the green up in the air.
Green flag.
And we're back racing. Cunningham on the early jump. Now, Zach Millett right there looking for the lead. Millett works the outside, takes the top spot, but is he clear? Not quite yet. Cunningham's going to battle back on the bottom, but to no avail. Millett keeps the hammer down on the top side, and splitting him on the inside is Albert Anderson. So Cunningham goes from P1 back to third in just the opening lap. May lose third here in just a moment as well as the 8 of Kostek to the outside. Cunningham slips back to P6 in a battle now with Jesse Redding for that spot. It's Cunningham now shown as P7. Redding not quite clear yet. Can he come down? There it is. Redding gets clear now up into the 6th spot. Want to give a call to Crystal Villano here. She's relatively new, at least to this Gen 6 car. Having a decent run to this point, up 14 positions, just outside the top 10 in the 07 TrackBarMedia.net colors. Crystal does have some real-life experience in go-karts up in the New England area. Having a strong run so far. Kostek trying to make a move here on Jesse Redding. Kostek in the 8, the number 8 Jack Daniels colors. Redding up top in that gray and green number 21. Matt Sisler in behind. He's going to try and follow Redding through. Redding gets clear as Sisler here. Just ahead of them, though, Connor Leach trying to charge back towards the front. Now in behind Albert Anderson. Alfie Charon battling with the 99 as well, and Anderson gets the wall off turn 4. Pancakes it just a little bit. Sends him down to the right side of Alfie Charon. Everybody gets away cleanly. Charon trying to get to that 2nd spot and get clear of Anderson and Leach. He does so in the middle of 1 and 2. Leach with a run to the outside, trying to take it back. Leach does so. Oh, contact with Anderson and Charon into 3. Those two going at it here. Alfie's got a short fuse. Hopefully he can keep his temper under control. So far, so good. Anderson coming up, trying to side draft just a bit. Still contact. Anderson and Charon banging doors in the middle of 1 and 2 again. Last 2 laps, they've made contact 2 or 3 times. Welch Aaron wins that battle. He's up in that third position behind the 71 of Connor Leach. Anderson drops it from the top all the way to the bottom again. Trying to find an angle here that might speed things up, get him back to the back bumper. We get a caution on the Speedway once again.
You doing there, bud?
Derek Welch, unfortunately, involved in this one. Welch facing the wrong way here, just past start-finish, trying to get that car righted and back in the mix. See what happened here to the one. Just got tight on exit at turn 4. Smacks the wall, and then just through that process, just trying to save the car, comes down and collects Elliott. Pretty significant impact to the rear of the one. So there you have it, 6th caution of the night. We are past halfway. So with that, we're going to take a very short break. We will be back after this.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel.
I met Marcos Garza when we were doing radiothons for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. We needed sponsors to help us raise money, and he's always the first one to jump in. I would describe Marcos and his team as upstanding, someone you can trust, and he is just a genuine guy.
Marcos has been very generous. He has a genuine concern for people. You need somebody that cares about you. And that's what Marcos is, and that's pretty much what this firm is.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Back at Kansas Speedway, wrapping up caution number 6. Getting ready to go back, green flag racing. Take a look at our top 10. Zach Millett, your leader. Connor Leach, Alfie Sharon, Albert Anderson, Jesse Redding, the top 5. Mike Kostek, Matt Sisler, Cunningham, Nick Biddy, Joe David, rounding out the top 10 as we get ready to get this thing back underway. It'll be lap 70 when they drop the green once again. Pace car hits pit road. Field wound up here, ready to go.
Green flag.
Into the restart zone, green flag. And off the jump, Millett and Sharon get after it right away. Perfectly timed by the 9. They slide up the racetrack in front of Connor Leach and Jesse Redding and Albert Anderson as they work through turns 1 and 2. Three wide for 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Down to the bottom, Sisler. Then it's Jesse Redding, Connor Leach up the racetrack. Now 3 wide again. Albert Anderson, the top piece of the sandwich there between Redding and Sisler. Anderson was awfully close to clipping the wall off turn number 4. Keeps it off the concrete this time, but battle for 2nd now. Alfie Sharon going to lose this spot to Connor Leach. Leach on the charge to the bottom of the racetrack. Connor Leach may have scraped the wall just a moment ago. You see sparks flying just up ahead. I think that might have been Zach Millett, maybe just bottoming out the chassis through 1 and 2. Millett with a 2-3 car length advantage over Connor Leach. Sharon runs in that 3rd spot, drives it way deep into the corner, gets alongside. Let's go on board with Alfie Sharon. Sharon losing the spot to Albert Anderson. Those two have had some exchanges, a few of them already in this race. Drives it way deep into turns 1 and 2.
Caution's out.
And we got another yellow.
Hey man, your mic sounds like it's a little far away from your mouth again. Just double check that for us, please.
Not sure who's involved in this one. Jesse Redding, it appears. Some significant damage on the 21 here. Not sure what's caused this. In fact, iRacing didn't even catch it, but caution came out nonetheless. Jesse Redding's night might be over. That number 21 severely damaged in the nose. Let's see what happened here to the 21 just a moment ago. Up the racetrack. Not sure if that's the 6 of Joe David. We'll find out in a minute here, I think. Yeah, that's the 6. Jesse tried to come up. I don't know if he just didn't realize he wasn't clear of the scenario there, but nonetheless, the 21 gets into the outside wall after contact with Joe David. Night likely over early for Jesse Redding. So that remains the question here. Who comes to pit lane? Does anybody? Doesn't look like it. Everybody's in fuel save mode. Let's ride on board with Zach Millett. Yeah, there it is. You can hear it right now. In fact, if we look a little close here, just below the right side of the steering wheel, RPM's at 300. He's got the clutch in. Just letting it idle, barely at idle. Effectively what you're doing here, for those that don't get it, and no harm if you don't, that's why we explain it, is you let the clutch in. Some guys, like I even shut the car clean off. I'll hit the ignition button and just kill the car. So I'm already rolling. I'll get up to speed, maybe go a little bit faster than what the pace car should be going. I'll clutch it, shut it down, and then let the car coast. Effectively, you're just using the energy that you've already put into the engine and the drivetrain to continue that rolling forward momentum without actually running the engine and consuming any more fuel. So you can really save a bunch of fuel doing this. You see Zach's down on the apron of the racetrack too. That's helping as well, as he's running a shorter distance around the circuit. Even if he was using gas the whole way around, the shorter you go, the less you use. Pair that with some lift and coast, clutch the car, maybe shut it down. You can save quite a bit. Pace car lights still on here as we work the 7th caution of the night, lap 78, 125. The way things are going, you never know. We might see some overtime racing here tonight. 3 attempts at a green-white checkered finish, if necessary. Hopefully not, but they're there if we need them. There you have it. Pace car lights go out, so we're on the one to go. Getting word from Derek Welch into stream chat. Fallen out of the seat, unfortunately. Bought himself a new setup here with the help of some friends within the league. And that thing's got some serious torque to it. He says, I got this new wheel and it's killing my arthritis. I got to go get the settings right. Can't say I blame him on that. Got to dial it in. It takes some time when you get some new hardware because every set's completely different. So as we get ready to go back to a restart here, it'll be Zach Millett, Connor Leach bringing him back to green. Pace car is in.
Green flag.
Millett maintains the top spot. Sharon now trying to take second away from Leach once again off turn number 4. Oh, trouble! Anderson in the fence. Nick Biddy gets a piece of it as well. Crystal Volano gets through, barely. Albert Anderson got a big piece of it. He was involved in it. Nick Biddy got a chunk. Looks like the 11, the 42 of Winker as well. I don't know if the 11's just parked trying to avoid or what the scenario there is. Brandon Coleman, like I said, was a part of this as well. I think it happened up in front of him, though. Coleman dumps down to the inside. You see Winker's already got some damage, but he gets recollected. A lot of drivers involved in this, actually. Got the, looks like the 20 of Lawson. Anderson thought he was clear, but he wasn't. Just a couple inches, but it's all it takes. Biddy takes a hard hit. Strong car. Tough break for the 32 as he had a great run going, starting from the back. Somebody drilled him in the right side. Looks like that might have been the 12. Multi-car incident here. Not too long after the restart. We're under the yellow flag for the 8th time. You still hear guys cutting off the engine, trying to save some extra fuel. Remember, the pit window for the fuel, if they stayed green, was 35 to 40 laps. We're still a handful away from being able to make it all the way to the end, so you're going to see an extra stop here before this one's all said and done. Question is, who has tires, who doesn't? And they only had 2 sets available over the wall. So 3 total, if you count what they start the race on. But 2 opportunities to change tires tonight. Minimum 3-stop race. Now, you could probably stretch it to 2 stops if you had a lot of cautions, which we have had a bunch, but it really just factors into how they lay, how they happen as far as what lap count you get to when that yellow flag finally comes out, at least that final yellow flag. This one, if it came out a little bit later, they might have been okay. To make that quick pit stop for fuel and be good to go to the end. And we don't have anybody trying to save fuel at that point. It's just a matter of hammer down all the way to the end. But we're not there yet. You know, the question you may ask yourself if you're doing the math in your head, well, why are they saving fuel now if they have to pit again anyway? Well, for 2 reasons. It extends the amount of laps they can go before they have to make that final stop, which in turn makes that last pit stop shorter. They can take less fuel at that point. They've burned off less. There's still more in the tank. As soon as they get to that fuel window, they can come down whenever they like, as long as they know they can make it to the end. It factors into how hard you want to push all the way to the finish. Typically, most guys want to go 100% on that final run, especially if they're in contention for a win. It's field into 3 and 4. Get ready for a restart. It'll be lap 85. It'll be 41 laps to go as we take the green flag. Again, 40 laps is a very generous number. Okay, that's going to be some fuel save. I think 35 to 36 is more realistic. especially at this stage of the race. Pace car's in.
Green, green, green.
There it is, green back in the air. Build it up to speed with the rest of the field. Still, once again, it's like deja vu, a battle for the second spot. Alfie Charon, Connor Leach. Charon on the bottom of the number 9. Getting pushed now by the 91 of Dan Cunningham.
Yellow.
Yellow on the restart.
So what you got going on out there, bud?
Looks like Lawson, Klein, and maybe Fahey involved in this one. Fahey did get back out there. Lawson in the 20. I don't know if there was some net code that triggered that. Very, very light contact off the 42, but the 20 goes down, hits the 55. I think that's Tom Barish. He goes up the racetrack, gets hit hard. Fahey gets collected again. 31 of Milner comes in. Jesse Redding comes in. He stays. He actually got some of that car repaired. Chris Klein says, not this time. He just comes to a complete stop. But there you have it. Caution number 9 on the Speedway as we get late in the going. We'll step aside here and get a break out of the way. We'll be back after this.
Basket can't defend. He's got the outside line for the second part, and he can't hold on.
Going the long way around. We're going to be 3 wide for the lead as they all come to the line. Who is going to take it in the end?
And here comes Lockwood. He's going to make the move to the outside. Quinn tries to force him off a little bit, but there he goes. It's going to be side by side through turn 1.
Will he be able to cover him off? He does. Weaving back to the left-hand side. Reynolds is trying everything. The kitchen sink is being thrown at it.
They're leaning on each other. Coming into turn number 3. It's going to be a drag race through 3 and 4. Coming back to the line. Here comes Frisch on the bottom.
Bouchard's going to hold the inside. Tries to be the late breaker here. They're going to be side by side through the final chicane. They bang doors, but keep it clean.
As that's still 4 wide on the run down into the back straightaway. Demerit's looking for a line as well. What is going on in Michigan?
Novak into the fence. They're still beating and banging.
Oh
and to the line.
He is much faster coming through there. Is there damage on Challenger? Abramitis is ahead. There's going to be a race to the line. Who is going to get it?
Back at Kansas Speedway, working caution number 9 as field is on the back straightaway here on the 1 to go. Will be green the next time by. Race started off relatively clean. We had some solid green flag runs early on, but things have gotten a little chaotic here since halfway. Eddie Rose in the stream chat says he always pops in here on occasion and says some trivia here. He's asking, in the Cup Series, who has the most wins at Kansas Speedway? I'm going to say Kevin Harvick, but that's literally a guess. I know he had one of the first. It was there or Chicago. I don't know, but that's the trivia. That's my guess. Pace car is in. Millett and Sharon on the front row. Restart coming at lap 90. Green flag in the air, and we're back racing here at Kansas. Millett and Sharon off on the jump. Connor Leach runs in the 3rd spot off turn number 2. In 4th now runs Anthony Williams. 5th, Matt Sisler. Millett way up the racetrack, throwing sparks out the back. Sharon applying some pressure on his teammate. Tucks in behind, blocks the 71 of Connor Leach. Allows Millett to get away in doing so, but maintains that 2nd spot. Further back in the top 10, Dan Cunningham battling with Tim Stubblefield. Leach now looks to the inside of Alfie Sharon for the 2nd position here into turn number 3. Leach, the 71 car, the Tim Hortons Express, goes to the bottom of the track, takes the 2nd position from Alfie Sharon, slides up in front of the 9, now sets his sights on Zach Millett, or does he? Sharon with a run off turn number 4, closes the gap to within a couple of feet, now dives it to the bottom of the racetrack. Now to the inside of Connor Leach, trying to take that 2nd position back. Leach maintains the 2nd spot, got within half a car length of Millett into turns 3 and 4. Millett still leads. Leach running 2nd now. Sharon 3rd. Sisler and Williams battling for the 5th position. Sisler up top in the number 93. Williams in the 5. Down below. Dan Cunningham in behind that orange and white number 91. One car might have got the fence there just a moment. That was Joe David. Continues to run at pace on throttle. Eddie Rose chiming back in with their answer to the trivia. Denny Hamlin with 4 wins. Cunningham takes a look to the inside on Anthony Williams down the back straightaway into turn number 3. Cunningham side by side all the way down to the white line. Slides up just about a half a lane. Still half a car width off of the 5 as they come back to the dog leg, back to start finish. Cunningham still doesn't have the pass completed. See if he can do anything with him here to 1 and 2. Meanwhile, those two battling side by side allows the 8 of Mike Kostek to get caught up, become a part of this fight. Millett now to a 3/10 advantage over Connor Leach as they work out of turn number 2. Big time battle here in the backside of the top 10. A lot of drivers involved in this. Alfie Sharon's 4th, but he's part of that mix as well. Top 2 somewhat getting away, but 3rd on back, side by side for at least 6 positions. Anthony Williams running in that 7th spot. Still working. Catch up to the 28 and the 93 for those positions. Meanwhile, Alfie Charon has dropped back out of the top 3, now runs in the 5th spot. Mike Kostek has jumped up into the 3rd spot. Cunningham now 2nd. Connor Leach also slipping a bit. He runs in the 4th spot. All these drivers are within their fuel window. It's just a matter of when they want to make that final pit stop. The way the latter stages of this race has gone, I'm willing to bet everybody's just kind of hoping and praying we get just one more caution so we can make that pit stop under yellow rather than worry about it under green. The reason why guys would want to do that is you run a big risk of throwing your race away. You come down pit lane, you make that pit stop under green, and then you maybe lose a lap, and then all of a sudden, then the caution comes out. Well, now then you're trapped a lap down, and you got to wait for yet another caution to get that lap back, and that's provided you're the first car 1 lap down. 26 laps remain here from Kansas Speedway. Now a change for the top spot. Millett, I don't know if he got the wall or what, but Cunningham gets to the inside. Millett's going to try and battle back. Cunningham has been quietly working his way through this field all night long, and there he goes. Cunningham takes the spot, and it looks like Kostek's going to go with him, take the 2nd position from Zach Millett. I think this is the first green flag pass we've seen on Zach Millett tonight. With 25 laps to go, you got to wonder what the situation is with those two. Likely, Cunningham Kostek took 4 tires, or at least 2, on that pit stop at lap 86. Meanwhile, Connor Leach decides he's going to hit pit road. He's going to come down now. He's going to chance it, get those fresh tires right now. Try to undercut these guys, or overcut for that matter. Get some fresh rubber if he's got it left. Get back out there and get after it. Again, Zach Millett, we talked about the tire situation with the top 2. Millett's last pit stop was at lap 52, and it was not 4 tires. So he does still have a set over a pit wall if he wants to take advantage, just as Connor Leach is with the 4 that he just bolted on. He's down and away, a decent stop. Not incredible, but 15.2 with no mistakes. That's the way to do it. Get back out there, get yourself in the game, see if you can make up some time out there with some fresh rubber compared to the rest of the field. 23 laps to go. Now Zach Millett, he's on pit road, as well as Alfie Charon, Matt Sisler, Anthony Williams, and Joe David for their final stop of the day. Millett nice and clean in the pit box, perfectly square. Makes for a good pit stop when the guys expect you to be a certain place, and that's where you end up. Right sides went on, left side's going on as well, as Millett getting ready to drop the jack and get back after it here. 22 laps remain. 15 flat for 315 of Zach Millett. Meanwhile, with 22 to go, it's Cunningham and Kostek 1 and 2. And their last pit stop at lap 86. Do the math on that, folks. That's 39 laps to the finish on a tank of fuel. They may need to save. Maybe not, though, because there has been some cautions in between. They might be good to go to the end. The question's going to remain, are they good to go on the tire aspect of things? How much fall off is there going to be from the top 2 to those that took fresh tires on this most recent pit stop? With all that said, is there enough laps left in this race for it to make a difference? We talked about the risk of pitting under yellow, and we're starting to see that now as Lawson, Millett, Charon, and everybody back from 8th on down are no longer on the lead lap. And as we explained, if the caution were to come out right now, Lawson would get his lap back, but Zach Millett would not. So Zach's biggest issue right now, he has to reel in the 20 of Lawson. He's got about a 2.5 second lead on Zach Millett. So back out front, still the 91 of Daniel Cunningham. Mike Kostick runs in the second position. Then it's PJ Cox, Tim Stubblefield, Ken Couch, the top 5. Then it's Mark Collins and Albert Anderson. Remember, Anderson been involved in an incident here tonight, but he's keeping his head down and keeping after it. Still the last car on the lead lap within the top 10 in P7. "17 laps remain for the 91 of Daniel Cunningham. Meanwhile, Zach Millett has taken that spot away from Justin Lawson, so Zach running in the 8th spot, first car, 1 lap down. If we were to get a caution, he'd get that lap back. If we go green all the way to the end, I just don't see that he's got enough time. Crystal Villano getting a lap back from the leader. Villano runs back in the 16th position. You know, we talk about biggest movers on the day or the hard charger award kind of situation. Right now, the third place machine of PJ Cox would have that. Started 36th. Currently runs third position. About 3 seconds ahead of fourth place Ken Couch. Keep things together here. I'll have a solid finish. Pick up some extra points for the biggest mover. Tim Stubblefield's going to hit pit lane for his final time of the day. Four tires and fuel for the 92. He's down and away 14.98 seconds. A good stop for Timmy. Back out front, it's still Cunningham and Kostek, but the 8 is starting to reel the 91 in. It's gotten a little bit closer lap after lap. In fact, Kostek was about 700ths faster than Cunningham that last time by, but here comes Zach Millett. Millett's going to get a lap back all on his own here. And Zach on fresher tires, so it's going to make that one look really easy, but it's not going to make up a whole nother lap here in the next 11 unless we get a yellow. Got a battle for the lead here. Contact between Kostek and Cunningham down the backstretch. A little bit of bump to the rear bumper of the 91. Now Cunningham up the racetrack. Kostek trying to get some clean air on his nose. As they come to the line, it'll be 10 laps to go. Kostek drives it down to the bottom of the racetrack once again, looking for the race lead. Both of these drivers, you saw them throughout the course of the race, working their way up through the field, not making a whole lot of noise. Really haven't seen them up in the top 3 up until now, but they're the ones in charge. 9 laps remain for Cunningham and Kostek. PJ Cox still runs in the 3rd spot, but about 7 seconds behind. Lap car of Mike Fahey going to go up topside. Kostek is right there into turn 1, right to the back bumper of Cunningham. Cunningham draws away just a bit in the middle of 1 and 2. Off corner exit, still the advantage is Cunningham by a car length, maybe 1.5, back to the 8. Jarrett Woodard's going to hit pit lane here for his final stop. Cunningham back to the line, still holding the top spot. Kostek now about a quarter second back. Both of these drivers reasonably close on the skill level of things. Both made their last pit stop at lap 86. And a caution comes out. Skylar Harrod in trouble.
Everybody on the racetrack will be pissed off at somebody else on the racetrack before this race is over with.
Skylar stationary with right front damage. Exit of turn 4, bypasses pit lane. Let's watch what happened here to the 3. Just to the outside of Jesse Redding. He's trying to go 3 wide, almost 4 wide, really. Contact with the 21, sends him up the racetrack. Collects, I believe it's the 57 of Russ Endicott. But there you go. Puts us under the yellow flag once again. With 5 laps to go, I don't know if this will put us in overtime or not, but it's going to be close. So with that, we're going to take a very quick break. We'll step aside. We'll be back after this.
I met Marcos Garza when we were doing radiothons for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. We needed sponsors to help us raise money, and he's always the first one to jump in. I would describe Marcos and his team as upstanding, someone you can trust, and he is just a genuine guy.
Marcos has been very generous. He has a genuine concern for people. You need somebody that cares about you. And that's what Marcos is, and that's pretty much what this firm is.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Back at Kansas Speedway, we're going to try and get a word here with Zach Millett, who's definitely gifted an opportunity here. Had no chance to win this race without the caution. Finally gets the caution. We're going to pull Zach into the booth here. Zach, it's Steve with HBR TV. You got me?
Hey, Steve, got a copy.
Well, pit strategy wasn't working out for you there if we went green all the way to the end, but we got the caution here late. It's going to be a dogfight. What's the strategy here for the closing laps?
Man, I don't know. The way this night's gone, race 1 of the season, I think we just have to send it and hope for the best. These guys ahead of me are real fast, so it's not going to be any kind of easy task, but yeah, we're going to do everything we can. Let's see what we can do.
Some stiff competition up ahead of you, but you've got fresher tires than those guys. Good luck to it, man, and maybe we'll talk to you before it's all over.
Hey, thanks, man. I hope so.
Zach Millett running in the 3rd spot for the restart. Not a huge difference in number of laps on the tires between the 315 and the top 2 of Cunningham and Kostek. We'll have to see how much of a difference it really makes. This will be our first official attempt at overtime. A green-white checkered finish. Pace car lights are out, so we're going to give our first shot at it this time by. It'll be lap 124. And we retake the green flag. The way this works, we get the green flag. The next time by, we get the white flag, and then the next time by, we get the checkers. Now, if the caution comes out before the leader takes the white flag, we'll line them up and we'll try it again. We can do that up to 3 times, counting this green-white checkered finish attempt. Pace car is in. Into the restart zone. Barney with the green in hand. Green flag waves. And here we go, our first attempt at a green-white checkered finish. Cunningham and Kostek get off to a decent start. Millett right there in the back bumper of Cunningham as he go into turns 1 and 2. Side by side with the 8. Millett's up to the 2nd spot. Not clear just yet. Here comes the 08 to Ken Couch. All over the back bumper is Zach Millett. Couch pit at lap 121. He's got newer tires than anybody. He goes to the bottom 3 wide, takes the spot from Millett. He's looking for the race lead here, coming to the white flag. Ken Couch with better tires than anybody else, but to the bottom of the racetrack. Albert Anderson now going for the top spot. Crosses the stripe, white flag, 3 wide, battle for the top spot here at Kansas Speedway. Albert Anderson with the lead. Cunningham up top. Ken Couch still in that position between himself and Anderson. Oh, trouble. Millett gets turned down the back stretch, but it's the final lap. They're going to race back to the line. Anderson with the lead. Ken Couch second, or battling for it at the very least. Off turn 4 for the final time. Checkered flag. Albert Anderson's going to win it. Second place goes to Ken Couch. Dan Cunningham takes 3rd. What a race. What a finish. Albert Anderson battling back through his struggles tonight, comes back and takes the win. And there you have it. The guys that waited and waited and waited to take those tires till lap 121. It paid big time. Albert Anderson, Ken Couch, they pick up the win. Well, Anderson picks up the win. Ken Couch, a strong run though. Wow. Talk about opportunity. That last caution determined this race, and it luckily wasn't a debris caution. It was legit. America's driver does it. What a run to the finish. With that, we're going to take a short break here. Be back with our top 3 finishers after this. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
I met Marco Scarza when we were doing radiothons for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. We needed sponsors to help us raise money, and he's always the first one to jump in. I would describe Marcos and his team as upstanding, someone you can trust, and he is just a genuine guy.
Marcos has been very generous. He has a genuine concern for people. You need somebody that cares about you. And that's what Marcos is, and that's pretty much what this firm is.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Back at Kansas Speedway, race 1 of the Davidson Builders Gen 6 Cup Series in the books, and man, did it really turn into something crazy here in the closing laps with a late race caution, then a green-white checkered finish. We're going to pull the driver, the number 99, up into the broadcast booth, get a word with our race winner, America's driver himself, Albert Anderson. It's Steve in the HBR TV booth. You got a copy?
Hey, Steve, how's it going, bud?
It's going good, sir. Congratulations. First off, awesome job sticking with it. You had a little bit of struggles throughout the course of this race, a little bit of door banging with the 9 as well. Walk us through your race and what it took to get back towards the finish and win this race. An awesome job.
Thank you very much, Steve. I really just had to stay on it. I mean, Zach Millett, Alfie Sharon, and, Connor Leach. I mean, these guys are just the most talented guys out here. They are all lights out fast, and they're just incredible race car drivers. They have a ton of talent, and so I got involved in a couple of incidences. Hit the wall, came back down, got some damage, got that repaired, and was just turning laps. And that last caution is what saved me, because I was able to come in and get stickers and line back up and get after it one more time.
You know, that final caution came out. We saw some guys hit pit road, but I honest to goodness thought it was just guys that needed to top off for the fuel to make it all the way. I didn't think anybody had any tires left. You and Ken Couch obviously did. Some other guys did as well, but you took full advantage of it. You powered through that field, and it was not long before you were out in front, coming to the finish, taking that checkered flag. Again, an awesome job. Did you ever doubt it? Did you ever think there was a chance you could come back and win this thing?
You know, as laps started clicking down, I got up to 7th place, and I noticed a lot of the cars that had been up front with me all night were behind me, and they were a lap down. And I checked my fuel, and I'm like, oh man, I got enough to make it, you know? So at that point, I was just hoping I was going to get a top 5, something like that, you know, to finish up front. And that's what would have happened if that caution hadn't have come out. And then, you know, when that caution came out, it saved the day.
Well, this one in the books, first checkered flag in the back pocket as we go into the Old Atlanta Motor Speedway next week. Old Atlanta in this Gen 6 Cup car, it's going to be a handful, going to be a tire shredder. What's your strategy and your mindset rolling into Atlanta?
Just that, take care of the tires. You know, you can learn a lot in iRacing by watching other people. And, you know, in this league, watching guys like Zach Millett, watching Connor Leach, watching Alfie, you know, you're going to learn a little bit, you know. Sometimes it's better to let those guys by and learn from them and get back after it in the next race. So, you know, at Atlanta, it'll just be, you know, taking notes from the top guys and trying to save tires and hitting my marks.
Well, Albert, again, congratulations. An awesome job on the race win here tonight at Kansas. Who do you want to shout out to before I let you go?
So, first and foremost, I want to give a shout out to Timothy Stubblefield. They went through something extremely difficult. The entire Stubblefield family, Stubb Nation, I mean, those guys are phenomenal. They tune in, they watch all of the races. They really add excitement to all of this. So, you know, my deepest and sincerest condolences to the entire Stubblefield family. And I'm going to say a prayer for all of them tonight before I go to bed. And, you know, my teammates, Kevin Winker, Russell Endicott, Dylan Bryant, you know, they were coaching me along the whole way and giving me some good tips, giving me some good pointers, and helped me get back up front and bring home the victory. And Derek, you know, Derek is top notch. He puts on a good show. You know, he's fair. You know, he keeps the league honest. He keeps everything straight, and I really appreciate that. And also, my side girlfriend, Lori, I'm bringing home another trophy for you, baby. And just everybody for tuning in, just all of the people in the YouTube chat, and thoughts and prayers to the Stubblefield family. And thank you, Steve.
All right, Albert, thanks for talking, man. Good luck next week.
Thank you, brother.
Albert Anderson, your race winner here from Kansas Speedway. Next, we're going to pull the 08 of Ken Couch up into the broadcast booth, get a word with our runner-up. We really thought he was going to pull this one off and put it in victory lane here tonight when those fresh tires started to kick in. But second place, close enough, I guess. Ken Couch, it's Steve in the booth. You got me?
I do, Steve. I sure do.
Ken, congratulations, man. Awesome run tonight. And I got to say, a fancy-looking paint scheme. I really like that thing. I think that's an old Bobby Allison throwback, if I'm not wrong. But walk us through your race, and especially that green-white checkered finish with those tires. What was the call? What was the decision-making process like? Do you come? Do you not? Did you have to come to get fuel, or was it just, you know, it's now or never, I got tires, let's use them?
Yeah, first of all the props go to Mike Fahey for making this paint. I kind of told him what I wanted, and man, he knocked it out of the park. So I first of all, the paint goes to Mike Fahey, so we appreciate him. I had 1.2 laps to the good to make it on fuel. My tires were history, but we were so far up there that we were just going to take a chance. Me and PJ both, we were just going to take a chance and hopefully make it. but I was running fourth at the time. But when that caution come out, we were both like, man, we've got to take tires. So, and then I get behind Millet and Daniel, and holy crap, I knew I had better tires than them. It was just a matter of, do I have the cojones to stick it on the bottom and try and pass them? So it worked out in my favor, and believe me, that was a fun race.
Certainly a fun one to watch, Ken. Next week we roll to Atlanta Motor Speedway, and not the new one, the old one, the one that kills tires. You won second place tonight on a tire strategy. What's the plan next week? Because that place, like I said, it's going to kill some tires.
Well, and this car tends to eat them up pretty good anyway, and I'm not real good on saving tires, but I've raced on that track many times with several different cars. So I know that, you just got to be patient and save some rubber toward the end of the run. But I sure like this car, and it's a lot of fun to drive. And these guys are really good, patient drivers. So that part of it I love too.
Well, you guys certainly put on a good show here tonight. Ken, congratulations, man. Who do you have to thank?
Well, first and foremost, my wife for letting me do this stuff, and then all my teammates at LSR. Those guys are, I had Drew and Fahey and PJ was in my ear a lot, during the race, and I had a little trouble toward the beginning of the race, and I hit the wall, so I had like 3 minutes of repair, so I was in and out of the pit for quite a bit. And so I have all those guys to thank, and of course my Ken Satellite and Potable Water, my little trucking company. So I appreciate them letting me do this, and I got you on the car too, there, Steve. So HBR and you guys for doing the broadcast. We appreciate it very much.
Well, we do appreciate that, Ken. We've seen the logo on a lot of cars tonight, but not a custom one like Fahey Race Wraps threw on it. It looks good, man. Again, congratulations on a runner-up finish, and good luck next week.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Ken Couch, your runner-up here at Kansas. Next, we're going to talk to relative newcomer, Daniel Cunningham out of Winchester, Virginia. We talked about it in qualifying, but he brings it home P3. I'm sure he's rather disappointed he didn't bring home a checkered flag, because it looked like that one was well in hand. Dan, it's Steve in the booth. You got me?
Yeah, I got you.
Dan, congratulations, man. As we said, still a strong run, but not the victory that was almost within reach. Walk us through the final stages of that race and your tire strategy that you guys had put together that almost won you this thing.
Yeah, the strategy was really fluid all night. We kind of had some ideas going into the race, and it's the first race that me and my teammate Caustic and Lucas had run in this series. So with the limited tire sets and fuel and everything, it definitely adds an extra layer to everything that you got to think about in the car. So we kind of talked about some stuff at the beginning of the race, what the general plan was, and then when all the cautions kept coming out there in the middle, just kind of got us to kind of make some calls on the fly. And we got that caution, I think it was like 40 couple laps to go, whatever the last one was before the green white checker caution. And me and Caustic both said the same thing. We were going to go ahead and come down, take the last set. So, with as many wrecks as we've had and as many damaged cars as we've got, at some point you would think this thing's going to go green and we get a pretty decent run in here. And if this works out, we're going to look like geniuses. So, and it almost did. So, but first race in the league, so taking a P3 on the podium, definitely can't complain about that at all.
Well, certainly was an impressive race tonight. You guys had the strategy licked there until about 5 to go, and I don't know. We're going to have to deal with some tire strategy next week out at the old Atlanta Motor Speedway. Walk us through your thought process in getting prepared for a track like Atlanta Motor Speedway, at least the old layout that, again, it just chews up tires.
I don't really have any strategy for that because, to be honest, I suck at old Atlanta. I've never been able to figure that place out no matter what vehicle it's in. So I think my thought process going into that one might be probably going to have to get a little creative to try to maybe save a set of tires and do what some of these guys did at the end of this race, or maybe try to do the exact opposite and flip one early and try to get some track position or something. I don't know. That's a good question. I got a whole week to think about it, and I'll probably spend exactly 0 time thinking about it, and I'll come up with something right off the fly, about 5 minutes left in practice next week. Kostick told me before this race that I was his crew chief, that he was going to listen to whatever my strategy was. I've run him out of fuel in other leagues before, telling him, oh yeah, you're good, you can make it to here, and he runs out. So I think I got the Ferrari pit strategy stuff down pat with stuff like that.
All right, Dan. Well, again, congratulations on that third place finish. Too bad it wasn't a victory, but who do you have to thank for getting you to this point?
I appreciate y'all doing the broadcast and the admins. I'm new over here, so I don't know who or what our league sponsors are, but thanks to those guys, I'm sure we've got a list somewhere, but I don't have the slightest idea where it's at. Ghost Energy Drink, that's one on my car. If you ain't never tried them, go find you some. The orange cream is good. That's what colors were on mine tonight. Also check out SM Race Products for button boxes and sim racing equipment. Use code BANDITS1 at checkout. And also thanks to all my Bandits Motorsports teammates.
All right, Dan, thanks for talking to us, man. Congratulations again. Good luck next week.
Appreciate it.
It's Dan Cunningham, your third place finisher here at Kansas Speedway. That's going to wrap up the interview portion of tonight's broadcast. Let's get into our official race results. Of course, we talked to Albert Anderson, Ken Couch, and Dan Cunningham. Fourth place finisher was Mike Kostek. Matt Sisler was fifth. Zach Millett, unable to bring it home there. Again, even with the slightly fresher tire, finishes in the sixth spot. Mark Collins was seventh. PJ Cox finishes in the eighth spot. Alfie Charon Jr. was ninth. Joe David finishes out with a top 10 in that 10th position. Tim Stubblefield was 11th. Justin Lawson came home in the 12th position. 13th, Anthony Williams. Jesse Sperling was 14th. Connor Leach, strong early, but finishes in the 15th spot. Josh Moore, 16th. Kevin Winker, 17th. Crystal Villano comes home in the 18th spot. Not a shabby run at all from the newcomer. 19th, Jarrett Woodard. Chuck Kiger was 20th. Ben McKinnon, 21st. Jesse Redding, 22nd. Scott Milner came home 23rd. Chris Klein was 24th. 25th finisher, Dylan Bryant, 26th. Sean Roberts. Mike Fahey was 27th. Involved in 2 or 3 incidents here tonight, unfortunately. 3 of Skylar Herod was 28th. Brandon Coleman, 29th. Mike Corview, hopefully I'm saying it right, was 30th. Russ Endicott, 31st. Nick Biddy, tough break for him. Started him deep in the field, was up near the front, still improved on his qualifying position, but he takes 32nd. Tom Barish was 33rd. 34th, Chris Goins. 35th, Derek Welch. Chris Elliott was 36th. Jim Ott, 37th. Brian Torsha was 38th. 39th, Paul Durkee. Lucas Lyons, 40th, and credited with 41st, Mike Campbell in the number 95, 100 laps down. Thank you guys all for tuning in here tonight for race 1 of the season. Turned out to be a great one. We had some chaos in the middle of it, but that happens from time to time for the first race of the season. I'd say these guys did pretty darn good. Looking forward to next week at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Make sure you tune in for that. We'll be live here about, 7:45, 8 p.m. in the East here at HBR TV, youtube.com/@HBR TV and the number 1. It's going to do it for us. Again, I'm Steve Singer, congratulating Albert Anderson on the race win here at race number 1 of the Davidson Builders Gen 6 Cup Series from Kansas. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you at the next one.